What's up, guys? It's Dave. I am going to do the market analysis weekly prep for this week. Just starting looking at the sectors in general on TradeIdeas per usual. I'm going to organize this into the 5-day range. Let's go the opposite way here. And we shall get into it. Firstly, let's take a look at the SPY. I was saying last week, I wouldn't be surprised if we got some profit taking. I wasn't shocked if it that we did get some, because we were pretty extended, even pretty far away from the short-term moving average. It was a complete rip of a move, and so profit taking is normal, I would say. Now, where are we at now? Looking at the SPY, we're kind of at the breakout level, right? We had the huge move on Tuesday. We came on over here. We have a rounding top here, some distribution, and then now we are back at that breakout level. Also with the 20 EMA influence pullback, and then also with this trend line that I have drawn as well, although I feel like that didn't load properly. Either way, this is kind of a spot where things could bounce, but if it doesn't, then we might get some further downside into this week, further downside into profit taking. So either way, just looking at the scope of it, it has broken out. Now it is retesting that breakout level, something a normal market does, a healthy market does. Just note the volume on here. I don't know what that might entail, but I feel like we will find out. Next, the Qs. Again, this level here I have marked. If you want to look at this, or kind of failed that. So the next one I think might be valuable to look at is this level here, this 495-ish level, because it certainly broke out of the highs and then it fell on through, so it failed to hold the high. So maybe more consolidation is needed to build positions. But either way, it broke out and then just straight up failed to hold it. So, the halfway point is around this 492. If that fails, then I could see it going to 485-ish. So this bottom of this kind of zone, this consolidation here, if it accepts back into this. But we do have NVDA this week on Wednesday. So just be mindful of that. DIA, again, this is kind of retesting the breakout area as well. So this could be resistance support flip, pretty extended, huge gap up, distribution, selling, profit taking, right? It's at the 10 EMA. I wouldn't go screaming the market's going to crash just yet. Higher highs are still being made, and we're just looking for a higher low for potential of the definition of a continued uptrend, right? So again, looking here, I'm going to say those highs, they kind of failed back in, but if you want to look at trend wise, maybe we have a pullback coming into this 50 SMA, this 178 area. It is at the 20 EMA right now. This is RSP, the general equally weighted market. So instead of the heavily weighted or non-equally weighted typical SPY that has like NVIDIA, Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, all that is heavily weighted, right, compared to the other 493 names or something like that. IWM breakout, okay, coming back down, retesting this breakout area. This blue line is from something over here. I measured it out before. So this blue line is resistance prior levels here. And then look at this, it came freaking close to all-time highs over there. And so just look at the chart. The general trend is still up. This is breaking out of this level here, a huge gap up, profit taking, past the 10 EMA, past the 20 EMA, retesting this level. I wouldn't I wouldn't be scared about the market crashing just yet. In order for me to have a change and shift of like, this might be it. Like this could potentially start something, or I'm not saying that. This could potentially be like a blow off top on high volume, and then maybe we get a little bounce, creates a higher or a lower high, and then we get a move down to break this low. Now we get a lower low, right? But the market overall is still uptrending, in my view. That's what I'm seeing. All right, let's go to XLK. I didn't miss any of the main ones today. I don't think so. XLK failed to, we found supply at those prior highs. And then now it's coming back down to the breakout level, right? So we'll see, it consolidated. So it's kind of back in this range here. It failed to hold this 235 breakout too. So we'll see if it chops down. A higher high was made. We'll see if a higher low is made versus this 221. XLC communications trend is still on up, still over the 20 EMA. It closed under the 10. But overall, the trend is still up. XLV, this is just free falling now. Now look, we have a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower low. So this is a downtrending market, and it's kind of free falling. I don't know if this is a blow off bottom here, but I'm sure as heck not going to trade. I don't try and catch this stuff. Let's see where it could potentially find support. Maybe here. Is it past that? It's kind of past that. And if you go to the next level, maybe there, and then if it wants to continue to fall, maybe there. I think 138 would be a pretty solid add, potentially. Who knows? I already said IWM. XLB, good old materials. So broke out of this range, lower high, lower low. This looks like it's starting to downtrend, especially now all these buyers up here are quote unquote trapped, right? They're not really trapped. They can sell anytime they really want to, but bag holders might be starting to form here. So they'll act as future supply if this when this wants to break out to all-time highs and however long it takes. XLI industrials will go there. So we'll see if it holds this retest. Otherwise it's over the 20 EMA. GLD under the 50. This is kind of collapsing here. I'm gonna take, so you can see it failed to hold that high. I don't want to say collapsing, but it's definitely downtrending. So maybe it holds this 234 level as it come on down. The 200 SMA is still pointing upwards. So, but if it falls back, I can see it potentially holding here. But just caution, it's under the 50. XLP. This is also downtrending. So lower lows and lower highs are indeed being made. Okay. On volume, we'll see if this continues to break this low. Maybe it has a date with this 78 level. Real estate. This is just kind of wedging here. Kind of a crappy triangle that's drawn, but you get the idea, right? I would be mindful of this level holding, or if it doesn't want to hold. This is, I feel like, could be a potentially do or die area, but it is underneath the shorter term time frames. Lower highs, lower lows are being made. XLY, nice uptrend still. Big move coming down to retest. This level here is made from something. It is this right here. Is that 213? 211, 213? Yeah, it's all-time highs, basically. That's what it looks like. Let me change to the weekly real quick. Yeah, well, so we're seeing if we can hold all-time highs here in consumer discretionary. UNG, I'm not going to go over that. XLU, all-time highs. So it came back, retested. It's starting to push away. So utilities, let's look at the daily here. Utilities might be a potential play here. It has set a higher low in the short term anyways. We got some volume on Friday and a nice green bar pushing off higher. So, but we did get a lower low versus this low. So we have to make sure that, maybe this wants to bounce around a little bit and create a high. Otherwise, if this does not break these highs that it has at you know, there, 82-ish level. You know, if it comes back around and maybe fails at 80, 81, that would be a higher or a lower high. And then if it rounds over, creates a lower low, then we got to be looking out for a downtrend line. It is underneath the 50 SMA, so caution. That's what I go by. XLE, breaking out, holding this level, maybe. We do have a reverse hammer here, so it broke and then it failed to hold that. We'll see if it falls back into whatever it wants to do, but it is pretty extended, right? But the 10 and 20 EMA, they are sharply pointed upwards, and then the 50 is starting to curl upwards too. So maybe this pulls back to 91.50 to create a higher low versus this, because this was technically a higher high was made. You know, we could, if you want to, I'll leave that there. So we'll see with XLE, and then XLF, it's just breaking out. It is chopping. It is accepting at these all-time highs here. So I wouldn't be shocked if we got some profit taking here. This could potentially be distribution. We shall see. If it wants to break this consolidation low, then we would have some supply overhead, and then it would just depend on how long it takes to clean that out. So 49.50, maybe it's just gonna time correct and let the 10 EMA catch on up. We shall see. All right, next I'm gonna go over some of the ETFs. Let's see what's strong here. What closed strong in the 5-day? No, oh yeah, that's right. We talked about XBI last week. This got crushed. I'll go from worst, I guess. Yeah, this got crushed. So we were all, not all of us, but a lot of us were talking about this breaking the range. It failed. Once it fails, once it gets in here, opposite end of the range is target. It certainly hit that and more. Closed under the 200 EMA, or SMA, sorry. However, let's see, where could this go? Maybe there. There's a few. I'll just point out the very obvious levels instead of like the shorter term little higher lows there. And then maybe let's look at that area there. So, you know, if I'm looking for 90.50 to hold, I'm looking for, if that doesn't hold, heck, maybe it downtrends into 80.75, and then if that doesn't hold, maybe 75.50. And then, you know, who knows? I don't know. I just look at charts and see what they say. That's even if I interpret them correctly. All right, SMH, semiconductors, not looking the hottest. Kind of another failed breakout here at these highs there. So it just continues to range. Maybe it'll find support 23 at 236 or so. But 200 SMA is catching up. It responded and reacted 1-2 times in the past here, 3 times. So this name, the semis, they like the 200 SMA. So I would anticipate some sort of buying here, excuse me, if it wants to continue that behavior. These lines don't always load properly. And then, you know, I guess we're kind of at this uptrend line too. So keep an eye on a bounce for SMH, especially with NVDAs this week. Another semiconductors that just kind of fell apart. What's healthcare? Healthcare falling apart, downtrending. Lower lows and lower highs are being formed. So overall, this kind of looks like it might be a stock picker's market. Staying in specific sectors and staying out of specific sectors. What is it? Oh, retail. We'll see if retail wants to hold that breakout area. However, you know, it continues to hit supply at that there. So we'll see. We'll see what that wants to do. If that wants to fall back in, maybe retail goes back to this consolidation levels. Maybe that you could draw. It creates some look below and fails and goes to the end range. That's what I'm doing there. 75 area. If that doesn't want to hold, and I'm not predicting anything here, let me be clear about that. I'm just prepping ahead of time, potentially. We'll see. But 200 SMAs catching on up. Respected it 1, 2, 3, 4 times so far. So we'll see what retail wants to do. Oil, this is downtrending. XHB, what is that? Home builders. This is just chopping sideways. Lithium, this could be a decent play here. It is over the 200 SMA now. Retested it and then bounced back up. It failed to make a higher high. However, this was a pretty freaking extended move as it is. So maybe it consolidates here and then starts to round up. But lithium names might be interesting to look at when it comes to ETF. So I have the names organized here. TAN, that's just getting smashed. Is below. So now we have all the supply overhead downtrending. If you guys like to short TAN, so looking into solar names, they could be a decent short idea, especially if the market wants to start downtrending, and as long as there's not rotation going into those markets, which I don't know if that would be what would happen with the administration that's coming up here. Oil fund, there's silver, it's underneath the 50 SMA, failed to hold that top, broke that up trend line here. Let me just show you what I'm looking at, so I'm just not spouting stuff. It broke that uptrend line. Stay, please. Thank you. And so maybe we get a little bounce up to create a lower high, and then it starts downtrending. SLJ, silver miners, XME. So we're getting a nice little breakout and a retest here. Higher lows are being formed, so we'll see if this is indeed a higher low in the metals and minings there. Gold creating a lower low here. Maybe we get a bounce to create a higher low, and then it's going to start downtrending. Potentially lower lows being made. Okay, so gold and maybe silver could be potentially decent short ideas. I have no idea, just looking at that overall what the charts are saying. FXI, China, I don't know if this is a good buy spot. It could be, as long as it gets accepted back into this consolidation area. It is underneath the 50. I closed out all of my China holdings in my long-term PDD. I lost 13.1%. Papa made 15, and then JD was down 1%. And then I closed out U, but that was a nice 30% gain there. K-Web, again, similar look. Real estate, just kind of downtrending, lower lows, lower highs being made here underneath the 50 SMA. So overall, the market does look a little cautious with all these ETFs. And then the Qs and everything failing to break out. This is just downtrending, right? So I will be on the cautious side this week, especially after, last week from profit taking from the election, and where the election's huge move, profit taking. I don't know if this is blow off top stuff, but just be mindful. Here's Jets, this continues to grind on up. Time correcting, letting the 10 EMA catch on up. This, these guys could still be good longs to look into. URA, I do like uranium here. It's pulling back to the 50 SMA. It's over the 200 SMA. It's just getting really whippy. Just look at that volume on Friday. So we got to see so that little short-term downtrend line here. Let me zoom in. That's what I'm looking at there. So that downtrend line is broke. Now it's chopping sideways. Consolidating. This could be a decent setup spot. So like if you wanted to look at, price is stabilizing. So longs like to initiate longs. Buyers like to initiate longs with price stability. So this is kind of like a downtrend line with a retest. Breakdown trend line with the retest, but it's just started to chop here instead of reversing right away. So maybe positions being built. We'll see what this volume is coming on up. So URA would be decent looks potentially as well. KRE, regional banks, these guys are just, they're time correcting, letting that the shorter term MAs catch up, and it's also at these levels here. So you shouldn't be surprised that we're chopping here. These are levels of potential supply. So we will see if there's enough supply where buyers can drop bids and buy it at a lower price. Otherwise, if sellers don't have to sell, they're going to mark up. So if there's enough bids up here, it'll just continue on the trend. IAT, another regional banks one, this continues. So similar. Gas and exploration, watch this 200 SMA to break. Otherwise, we're kind of looking at a reverse head and shoulders type look here. We shall see, though. We shall see. This just broke. We have all this supply now overhead. Maybe we get a bounce all the way up here for a reshort. Who knows? This is what is this? Dealers and brokers deal. I don't know what that is. Energy. This is again looking at that level there. It's over it, so we'll see if it holds it. But it's got that top and tail. And then insurance names, time correcting, chopping, consolidating sideways. We'll see what it wants to do and how it wants to resolve. It's having a hard time filling this gap though, and it certainly hasn't even touched this gap, right? Maybe by a few cents. But insurance names looking pretty decent. And that is all for those. I did create a new watch list, or a watch list channel. I'll show you what that is real quick. So I organized it into, you can see names on X that I'm keeping track of, JETS ETFs, so the names that make up these ETFs. So crypto, I have LIT, lithium, I have the semiconductors, I have URA, I have some insurance stocks, some China stocks, some the larger names, the top 30 names here in XBI, and then I have all of the sectors labeled here too, and under that it has all of the names here. Let me just give you an example here of what it looks like. So I have all the names that make up those sectors here. This is why TradeIdeas is pretty freaking awesome, because it makes like what you're looking for super easy and organized, and you can make it even look pretty too. So I can just easily click through these and see, if XLC is looking strong, look at that, VZ bouncing off the 200 SMA, look at that. So if you're a 200 SMA buyer, there's your little gift potentially. I'm not calling anything, but it does look like it's close to, it's probably tagging the downtrend line anyways. This is not the point. See, I can't help myself other than to just analyze what I'm looking at, because why? It's fun. Anyways, all right, that is the market analysis here. I will continue to share. I'm gonna do my favorites for the week next, and it'll be out shortly. Thank you for your time. Stay safe, manage your risk, trade to trade another day. Later.